The Exemplary Tale of Sumāgadhā. Homage to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Thus did I hear at one time. The Blessed Buddha was dwelling in Shravasti, in Prince Jeta's grove, Anathapindada's park. At that time, a daughter of Anathapindada, known as Sumāgadhā, who was faithful, good-natured, virtuous in her thoughts, and engaged in benefiting herself and others, was dwelling in Shravasti. Meanwhile, in a city known as Pundrabhadana, there lived another merchant, whose son was known as Virshabhadatta. By associating with the heterodox non-Buddhists, he had come to believe in the Nirgranthas. Whenever the Blessed One performed miraculous displays, the non-Buddhists would remain in the outlying districts, some in the city called Badrika, some in the area known as Mudgirika, and some in the city known as Pundrabhadana. At that time, Virshabhadatta had not yet established a household. Concerning that, the Nirgranthas said, "There is a daughter of Anathapindada called Sumāgadhā, who is beautiful, pleasing to behold, and graceful, the most beautiful woman in the land." As soon as he heard that, Virshabhadatta assumed the guise of a Nirgrantha mendicant and travelled to Shravasti. He entered the home of the householder Anathapindada to collect alms, and there he saw the girl. He was enamoured the moment he saw her, and when he received the alms, he took them in his hat. The girl saw his improper behaviour and laughingly said, "This one is absent-mindedly accepting alms." Virshabhadatta was ashamed and returned to the city of Pundrabhadana. There he spoke to his father, who accepted the girl. Anathapindada asked the Blessed One about this, and the Blessed One replied, "Actually, if Sumāgadhā goes to Pundrabhadana, she will perform the activity of renunciance and the activity of a Buddha." So the householder Anathapindada informed her relatives, and she was betrothed and conveyed to the city of Pundrabhadana. Shortly thereafter, when the Nirgranthas were eating at home, Sumāgadha's mother-in-law said, "Today the Venerable Ones will come to our home for an offering of food. Come and see the Venerable Ones." On hearing this, Sumāgadhā was happy, pleased, gladdened, and cheered, thinking, "Surely it is the Reverend Shariputra, Mahama Maudgayayana, and other great Shravakas who have come." She was greatly pleased and went without hesitation. But as soon as she saw the Nirgranthas, who were like naked wild buffalo, with plucked hair like pigeon squabs, Sumāgadhā was embarrassed and averted her face. Her mother-in-law asked, "Daughter, why are you displeased?" She replied, "If ones such as these are objects of veneration, who would not be considered a venerable one?" Her mother-in-law asked her, "Do you have teachers who are superior to these?" The girl replied, "In my father's monastery, Prince Jeta's grove, there is a teacher known as the Buddha. He is the object of veneration of the entire animate and inanimate world." "What is your teacher like?" she asked. The girl replied, "My teacher is golden, like a heap of champaka flowers, stainless, like refined gold, his discipline pure, his wisdom spotless. He is unequaled in the three worlds, the supreme among beings." Upon hearing this, her mother-in-law was overjoyed, and she asked, "Daughter, can you show us that Blessed One tomorrow?" Sumāgadhā replied, "Prepare offerings of food and tomorrow I will invite the Blessed One." Some time later they said, "The offerings of food have been prepared, so you should invite the Blessed One tomorrow." Then Sumāgadhā climbed to the very top of the house. She folded her hands and paid homage in the direction of the Blessed One, recalled the good qualities of the Blessed One, and strewed flowers and made offerings of incense. In order to invite the Blessed One, she sprinkled water from a golden vase. Then she spoke these piteous words: "O Blessed One, possessed of great compassion, like a wild animal, I have come to this frontier, separated from the 3 jewels. Please care for me, and with your Sangha of monks, please come to this place." And she spoke these words: "Your discipline pure, your wisdom spotless, great Shravakas with faithful hearts, please care for me, I who am without a protector, and out of compassion come to this place." Just then the flowers, incense, and water from the golden vase rose into the sky, and at that moment the Blessed One arose from his deep absorption and taught the Dharma to the 4-fold assembly. The water from the golden vase came to rest before the Blessed One like a staff of beryl. The flowers rested like a pinnacled temple in the sky above the Blessed One, and the fragrant incense came to rest like heaps of clouds. Seeing this, the Venerable Ananda inquired of the Blessed One, "Blessed One, from whence does this invitation come?" The Blessed One replied, "Ananda, it came yojanas from the city of Pundrabadana. Ananda, as that city is held by non-Buddhists, we must go there with an extraordinary display of miraculous power. Therefore, distribute the tally sticks to the monks." Right away, the Venerable Ananda distributed the tally sticks, starting with the most senior monk. He said, "Tomorrow we will go to the city of Pundrabadana. As that city is completely held by non-Buddhists, those among you who have attained miraculous power must take these tally sticks." Then the process of taking the tally sticks began, starting with the most senior monk. Among them was the elder known as Puna. Although he had not attained miraculous power, he reached out his hand to take a tally stick. The Venerable Ananda said to him, "Elder, we are not going to the home of Anathapindada, but we must travel to a place 163 yojanas from here, known as Pundaravadana." The elder thought, "I have abandoned the defilements to which I had been habituated since beginningless time, so what could be difficult about such miraculous power, which is common even to non-Buddhists? I will not produce it." Due to that thought, however, at that very moment, the miraculous power was produced. As the second tally stick had not yet been distributed, the elder reached out his hand like an elephant's trunk and took the tally stick. Meanwhile, Venerable Ananda, sitting at the head of the elders, said, "Those who have attained miraculous power must go to the city of Pundaravadana." Then, on the second day, at daybreak, the monks prepared by perfecting their displays of miraculous power. The 4 great kings also set out in the direction of Shravasti. As they did so, the one known as Ajnata-Kaundinya, mounted on a horse chariot, displayed a flash of lightning and brought down a gentle rain. Thus demonstrating his miraculous power, he made his entrance. Sumāgadhā's master saw this and asked, "Sumāgadhā, is this your teacher?" She replied, "This one is known as Ajnata-Kaundinya. He is arriving first, since he was the first to realize that there is no self, after the Blessed One first turned the wheel of Dharma. Then the elder Mahakashapa made his entrance from the sky above, having magically created a great rocky mountain covered with hundreds of variegated trees and various forms of birds, lushly carpeted with a diversity of flowers, and beautified by manifold rivulets. The master of the house saw that and asked, "Sumāgadhā, is this your teacher?" She replied, "This one who now arrives is known as Mahakashapa. The Blessed One pronounced him chief among the preachers for his abiding in ascetic practices. He gave up 999 pairs of oxen and abandoned, like spittle in the dust, Kapilabhadra, the most beautiful woman in the land, and great wealth and much gold, and went forth and became a renunciant. Next, the Venerable Shariputra, having magically created a lion chariot, made his entrance in the sky above, using his miraculous power. The master of the house saw that and asked, "Sumāgadhā, is this one who arrives in a lion chariot your teacher?" She replied, "This is the monk known as Shariputra. The Blessed One pronounced him chief among those endowed with wisdom. As soon as he entered his mother's womb, he was victorious over all those who engage in of debate throughout the entire world. He who arrives in the lion chariot is the second teacher, the second supreme one, the Dharma chief who subsequently turns the wheel of Dharma." Right after that, the Venerable Mahama Udgalyayana, having magically created a king of elephants that was like the elephant Airavana, made his entrance in the sky above, using his miraculous power. The master of the house saw that and asked Sumāgadhā, "Is this one who arrives on an elephant that is like Airavana, the king of elephants, your teacher?" She replied, "This is the monk known as Mahama Udgalyayana. The Blessed One pronounced him chief among those with miraculous power. With his miraculous power, he shook Vijayanta, the mansion of Shakra, the lord of the gods, with his big toe, and he tamed the Naga kings Nanda and Upananda. It is he who arrives on an elephant chariot." Next, the Venerable Aniruddha made his entrance from the sky, using his miraculous power, having magically created a lotus the size of a chariot wheel and made entirely of gold, with a stem of beryl and a stamen of silver. Seeing that, the master of the house asked, "Sumāgadhā, is this your teacher?" She replied, "This one is the monk known as Aniruddha. The Blessed One pronounced him chief among those possessed of the divine eye. He conducts himself such that, by the power of his merit, 500 vessels filled with cooked food arrive at his door by merely thinking of them. At the slightest thought, robes, arms, food, bedding, medicines for illness, and all necessities arise. It is he who arrives on a lotus chariot." Then the Venerable Puna made his entrance from the sky above, having magically created a Garuda chariot. The master of the house asked, "Sumāgadhā, is the one arriving on a Garuda chariot your teacher?" She replied, "This one is the monk known as Puna. The Blessed One pronounced him chief among the teachers of Dharma. It is he who arrives on a Garuda chariot." Next, the Venerable Ashvajit made his entrance in an extremely peaceful manner. The master of the house asked, "Sumāgadhā, is this one who arrives in such a tranquil manner, holding an alms bowl, your teacher?" She replied, "This is the monk known as Ashvajit. With his tranquil manner, he tamed a mad elephant. Seeing his tranquil manner, the noble Shariputra saw the truth, went forth, and became a renunciant in the teaching of the Blessed One, and having become a renunciant, attained arhathood. It is he who arrives in a tranquil manner. Then the Venerable Upali made his entrance from the sky above, using his miraculous power, having magically created a forest of golden palm trees. The master of the house asked, "Sumāgadhā, is this one who arrives in a forest of golden palm trees your teacher?" She replied, "This is the monk known as Upali." The Blessed One pronounced him chief among the holders of the Vinaya. As many as 500 chakra renunciants placed a great heap of ornaments, such as necklaces, bracelets, armlets, golden parasols, and garments, in front of him. When he saw them, he felt a great revulsion. Understanding them all to be impermanent, he became a renunciant in the teaching of the Buddha, and having become a renunciant, he realized the state of an arhat. It is he who arrives in a forest of golden palm trees. Next, the Venerable Mahakatyayana Putra made his entrance from the sky, using his miraculous power, having magically created a pinnacled temple made of beryl. The master of the house asked, "Sumāgadhā, is this one who arrives seated in a pinnacled temple made of beryl your teacher?" She replied, "This is the monk known as Mahakatyayana Putra." The Blessed One pronounced him chief among the Sautrantika and Vaibhashika teachers. It is he who arrives seated in a pinnacled temple made of beryl. Next, the Venerable Kaushtila made his entrance from the sky above, using his miraculous power, having magically created a bull chariot. The master of the house asked, "Sumāgadhā, is this one who arrives riding on a bull chariot your teacher?" She replied, "This is the monk known as Kaushtila." The Blessed One pronounced him chief among those who have attained analytical knowledge. It is he who arrives seated on a bull chariot. Then the Venerable Pilindavatsa, by means of a swan chariot, made his entrance from the sky above, using his miraculous power. The master of the house asked, "Sumāgadhā, is this one who arrives riding a swan chariot your teacher?" She replied, "This is the monk known as Pilindavatsa." The Blessed One pronounced him chief among those who abide in compassion. When he wished to cross the Ganges River, he commanded, "Stay, servant woman." As soon as he spoke those words, she remained like a mountain peak, not flowing at all. It is he who arrives on a swan chariot. Next, the Venerable Koti Vimsha Kana made his entrance on foot, walking in a mountain forest. The master of the house asked, "Sumāgadhā, is this one who arrives walking in a forest that is filled with hundreds of trees your teacher?" She replied, "This is the monk known as Kanika." The Blessed One pronounced him chief among those who exert themselves in diligence. As soon as he was born, he possessed a worth of 200 million chaffed grains, and from the soles of his feet sprouted golden hair 4 fingerbreadths in length. He is the one on whom 500 Kashapana coins were spent for his first cooked meal, and when the Blessed One was ill and Mahama Udgayayana brought it as a food offering for him, its aroma filled the whole of the Venuvana, so that King Bimbisara smelled it and was greatly amazed. He is the one who, merely setting down his 2 feet, caused this earth to quake. He is the one, after he became a renunciant and stepped onto the meditation walkway, from whose 2 feet blood flowed and was drunk by crows. It is he who arrives on foot. Then the Venerable Rahula made his entrance, having magically created the appearance of a universal monarch. The master of the house asked, "Sumāgadhā, is this one who arrives in the image of a universal monarch your teacher?" She replied, "This is the son of the Blessed One." The Blessed One pronounced him chief among those who hold the precepts. He gloriously demonstrates what was relinquished by his father, and in the appearance of a universal monarch he is possessed of the 7 treasures and surrounded by thousands of youths. He is the one who arrives like the moon, surrounded by a host of planets, constellations, and stars. Like a lord of humans who has entered the royal road. Like an ocean filled by the cascading of 1,000 rivers. Like a great protector of beings who dispels fear, illness, and misery. Like a lion among beasts. Like a Garuda among birds. Like the all-clearing sun. And like a universal monarch ruling the 4 continents. It is he who arrives like the 1,000-eyed protector of the Dharma in the assembly hall of Sudama. Likewise, the others made their entrances, demonstrating a variety of miraculous displays, some displaying a blaze of fire, some a shower of rain, some rose up from the earth, some rested on the foundation of the sky, and some created seats. Behold the might of those possessing miraculous power. This is how the disciples of the Blessed One went. Then the Blessed One emitted a light, by which all of Jambudvipa was filled with light the color of refined gold. By sending forth a great mass of light from Shravasti all the way to Pundravardhana, nowhere was there anything that could not be seen by the eyes. Thus was there total visibility. The Blessed One, too, proceeded through the sky, with Vajrapani following behind him, the residents of Sudavasa above, the gods of the desire realm below, Shakra on the left, and Brahma on the right. Likewise, Gandharvas such as Panchashika, Supriya, and Eye-Gift travelled in great numbers, playing pleasant diverse melodies on lutes, flutes, panava drums, clay drums, and the like, and strewing flowers, incense, perfumes, and garlands. Meanwhile, the Blessed One established 77,000 beings in the truth for the first time, and having done so, he arrived at the city of Pundravardhana. The city had 18 gates, at which the Blessed One emanated 18 Buddhas, a Buddha appearing at each of the gates. Then the Blessed One arrived at Sumāgadhā's house. Since they could not see the Blessed Buddha, the great crowd of people became angry and started to break down the house. So the Blessed One used his intention to transform the entire city into crystal, so that the body of the Buddha could be seen seated within each and every house. Sumāgadhā and many hundreds of thousands of other beings in Pundravardhana then offered flowers, perfumes, garlands, and incense to the Blessed One. The Blessed One taught the Dharma to Sumāgadhā and the rest of the greatest gathering of people in such a way that those who heard it, Sumāgadhā, and the many hundreds and thousands of other beings, obtained the direct vision of the truth. The entire assembly became inclined toward the Buddha, disposed to the Dharma, and favorable toward the Sangha. Yet the monks were perplexed, and to ease all their uncertainty, they addressed the Blessed One. Blessed One, it is wondrous how by Sumāgadhā's going to the other side, many hundreds of thousands of beings have become inclined toward the higher realms and toward liberation, and that by this she has accomplished Buddha activity. The Blessed One replied, "Listen to how she accomplished Buddha activity, not only at present, but in the past too. Monks in ancient times, long ago, when the lifespan of humans was 20,000 years, the perfectly complete Buddha, known as Kashyapa, one endowed with perfect knowledge and conduct, a well-gone one, a knower of the world, an unsurpassed charioteer who tames beings, a teacher of gods and humans, a blessed Buddha, emerged in the world. At that time, a king known as Krikin ruled the city of Varanasi. His daughter was born with a golden garland, and so they named her Kanchanamala. Later, when the girl had grown up, she went together with a retinue of young ladies, in all 500 young girls of the same age, to pay her respects to the perfectly complete Buddha Kashyapa. Because they had faith in him, for as long as they lived they continued to serve that perfectly complete Buddha, the blessed Kashyapa, providing him with robes, alms, food, bedding, medicines for curing illnesses, and other necessities. During that time, one night, King Krikin dreamed 10 dreams. As he recalled, I dreamed of a king of elephants who, emerging from a window, was caught by its thin tail. I dreamed of hastening to a well when no longer thirsty. I saw the sale of a measure of pearls for a measure of flour. I saw sandalwood and ordinary wood being given equal value. I saw thieves stealing sumptuous fruits from a garden. I saw an elephant calf scaring a rutting elephant. I saw a dirty monkey smearing others with filth. I saw a monkey who was consecrated as king. I saw a piece of cloth not being torn, though it was pulled by 18 men. And I saw a great crowd of people assembled together, who passed the time quarreling, arguing, fighting, and criticizing one another. Then the king awoke, distraught with fear and apprehension, thinking, has my life been threatened, or am I to fall from power? So he gathered some Brahmins who were learned in the interpretation of dream signs, and he described his dreams to them. However, because the Brahmins despised Kanchanamala, they said, Your Majesty, you must make a sacrificial offering to the fire with the heart of the one who is most dear to you of all. In despair, the king thought, the one who is to me the sweetest of all is my Kanchanamala. Kanchanamala heard about this, and since she was learned, she approached the king. Your Majesty, when the sun is shining, what need is there for the flame of a lamp? The perfectly complete Buddha, the blessed Kashyapa, is dwelling at the Rishi Vadana in Deer Park. You should go there and ask him. That blessed one will give you an accurate prophecy to which you should adhere. Then King Kritin sounded a great gong and announced, Now I will go to the city of Varanasi, to the presence of that blessed one. And together with Kanchanamala and a retinue of many hundreds of thousands, he went to where the Blessed One was. There they bowed their heads to the feet of the Blessed One, and sat before the Blessed One in order to listen to the Dharma. After some time, King Krikin rose from his seat and approached the Blessed One. He bowed with his hands folded and told the Blessed One, O Blessed One, in a single night I witnessed 10 dreams. An elephant, emerging from a window, was caught by its tail, and so forth as before. Please, Blessed One, tell me the portent of these dreams. The Blessed One replied, Be not afraid, great king. Your kingdom will not decline, and your life is not in danger. On the contrary, great king, in the future, when the lifespan of humans is 100 years, a perfectly complete Buddha known as Shakyamuni will appear, and in the latter part of that time there will emerge Shravakas whose bodies are unrestrained, whose minds are unrestrained, whose moral discipline is unrestrained, and whose wisdom is unrestrained. They will abandon their kin and become renunciants. Yet, by engaging the notion of the household while in monasteries, they will still be attached. The elephant being caught by its tail when emerging from a window is a premonition of that. Great King, your dream of hastening to a well when no longer thirsty is a premonition that although the Dharma will be taught to those who assemble together in a monastery, they will not desire to listen, nor will they keep those teachings in mind. Great King, your dream of the sale of a measure of pearls for a measure of flour is a premonition that there will emerge Shravakas who will correctly teach the faculties, powers, and precious branches of awakening merely for the sake of food. Great King, your dream of sandalwood and ordinary wood being given equal value is a premonition that there will emerge Shravakas who, apprehending the words of non-Buddhists, will equate them with the words of the Buddha. Great King, your dream of thieves stealing sumptuous fruits from a garden is a premonition that there will emerge Shravakas whose bodies are unrestrained, whose minds are unrestrained, whose moral discipline is unrestrained, and whose wisdom is unrestrained, and that they will take the best flowers and fruits of the Sangha and give them to householders for the purpose of their livelihood. Great King, your dream of an elephant calf scaring a rutting elephant is a premonition that Shravakas who have faulty moral discipline and are possessed of sinful propensities will overpower monks who possess moral discipline and virtuous propensities. Great King, your dream of a dirty monkey smearing others with filth is a premonition that there will emerge Shravakas who have faulty moral discipline and are possessed of sinful propensities, and that they will deprecate those who possess moral discipline. Great King, your dream of a monkey who was consecrated as king is a premonition that at that time deluded ones will be consecrated as kings. Great King, your dream of a piece of cloth not being torn, though it was pulled by 18 men, is a premonition that although the teaching on reality will be split into 18 factions, the cloth of liberation cannot be torn. Great King, your dream of a great crowd of people assembled together, quarreling, arguing, fighting, and criticizing one another, is a premonition that the teaching on reality will fade away through dispute. Great King, such unbearable things will come to pass in the future. And with these words, King Krikin and Kanchanamala generated roots of virtue toward the perfectly and completely awakened Buddha Kashyapa that made them conducive to liberation. Monks, what do you think? The one known at that time as Kanchanamala was this Sumāgadhā herself. At that time she performed Buddha activity, and likewise she has come here and once again performed Buddha activity. Then the monks, with doubts arising, inquired of the Blessed Buddha, Reverend One, due to what former action was Kanchanamala born tied with a golden garland? The Blessed One replied, Monks, it was due to this action. Long ago, the wife of some farmer or other made garlands of variously colored flowers and tied them up at the Chaitya of a Pratyeka Buddha. By the ripening of that action, she was born tied with a golden garland. Therefore, monks, the ripening of purely dark actions is purely dark. The ripening of those that are purely white is purely white, and the ripening of those that are mixed is mixed. Therefore, monks, you should abandon purely dark and mixed actions and exert yourself in purely white actions. Monks, you should train in this way. Thus spoke the Blessed One, and the monks thoroughly praise the words of the Blessed One. This completes the exemplary tale of Sumāgadhā.